NGO Gift of the Givers is providing a R5 million aid package to Malawi in the wake of Cyclone Freddy. The death toll in that country has now surpassed 300, but this number is set to rise as many affected areas are difficult to reach. Let's find out more from Sherifa Mia, who is the Gift of the Givers manager for Malawi. Thank you so much, Sherifa, for speaking to us this evening. Now, we know that thousands of houses, roads, schools, infrastructure and agricultural lands have been damaged or completely destroyed. Tell us a little bit about how that R5 million is going to be distributed to provide some relief to the residents of Malawi.
Thank you for having me this evening. Yes, the 5 million, some of it is already here with us. We've already received part of that pledge, and some of it is coming in kind. So already we've started giving out food packs. We've given food items to about 13 camps as of this afternoon in 3 different districts that have been affected, providing food, much needed food to about 7,000 people that have been sleeping hungry. A lot of areas are not accessible. Only in the city it's easier because people are able to get to the camps quickly, but with ourselves, we're trying to reach those that nobody's reaching. So we're going outside of Blantyre. We were in Palombe and Mulanje, where we have distributed some items to the people already. But in terms of our plans for the 5 million, we have already placed an order for a return home pack for the people that have been affected. A lot of them are staying in camps. We have about 317 camps set up. Most of these camps are in schools or churches, or most people have just taken refuge wherever they can. And they are not very conducive. They don't have enough sanitation. So we need the people to move back as soon as it's dry enough for them to move back. So as Gift of the Givers, we are planning a pack for them to take back home when they are going back home, which includes food, a pack, and non-food items, including kitchen sets, clothes, blankets, and whatever they can need to start off their lives with.
We know that in the wake of a lot of these kinds of disasters, especially in developing countries, cholera is a major concern, especially in the conditions that you've described in the camps where there is simply not enough sanitation. How is Gift of the Givers assisting in that regard?
So immediately with the food packs, we're providing this chlorine, we call it water guard, and they use this to purify the water that they're drinking. A lot of places, they don't have safe water. They don't even have enough water for the people. There's thousands of people all of a sudden have come to a school. So we're providing this, and also with some hygiene packs, we've provided some soap, and we are looking at next week going out again to provide more hygiene packs to make sure that we prevent the cholera. It's really a threat because, as I think you might be aware, that Malawi has been struggling with cholera since 2022. It's almost a year now. It's March 2022 until today, and we've had a lot of deaths, a lot of cases of cholera. So we don't need this on our hands again after this huge disaster that has just happened.
You spoke a little bit earlier about the areas that are inaccessible, that are very difficult to reach, and that Gift of the Givers is one of the few organisations trying to reach people in those hard-to-reach areas. Tell us a little bit about your teams and the kind of equipment or resources that you need to do that work.
So we're sending out 4x4s, of course. We can't use any other vehicles. Just to give you an idea, one of our trucks got stuck 3 days ago. We only managed to get it out and bring it back to the office today. So these are some of the challenges. We had sent a team with another truck a few days ago to a place where it normally takes 1.5 hours to get there. It took them almost 7 hours to get to the site. But we have such a dedicated team. They were there until late at night providing the aid. And actually, I was so happy that I got a call in the middle of the night around after 8 from the team, people that they gave the food to, and they were having a Gift of the Givers banner. So it was so heartwarming to see that after a very long day out in the field, and they're there having fun with the people that have been affected, bringing some joy, not just in the food items, but also in humanity, laughing together and dancing together. So it's very heartwarming to see how dedicated our team is.
And of course, Gift of the Givers is there to support the Malawian government in their efforts. What have you seen in terms of the general cleanup efforts, providing people with the resources to rebuild the damaged areas? Are they making good progress?
At the moment, no, because we're still in a very critical stage where the rains have only stopped maybe yesterday. Some areas is still raining today, so a lot of places they're not even able to access. The good thing is the government, the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, they pre-position some relief items, including rescue boats and trained people in certain areas which are usually cut off. For example, in the Lower Shiri, there's 2 districts, in Sanje and Chikwawa, they're always cut off. So they pre-position supplies in those districts. So as Gift of the Givers, we're not very well at the moment. Last year, we tried to get to Chikwawa as quickly as possible, but now we know that the government has put pre-positioned some material. So we're going to other districts that actually haven't been reached yet. So efforts are there, UN, international organizations, Malawi Red Cross, they're all making efforts, but the devastation is just a lot, and it's overwhelming. Our staff members, when they come back, sometimes they need a little bit of counseling because of what they have seen. For example, in Blantyre, there was a mudslide that has killed a lot of people. We have a big death toll this year because of the slide. It's actually just covered up a whole lot of houses. We're not even sure how many houses because it's a high density area. So, and it's kind of unplanned construction that was there. So it's not clear yet how many houses and how many people actually are still buried under rubble. We have the Malawi Defense Force, Malawi Police trying to dig up and see if they can get anybody from there. Also this afternoon, a colleague from Department of Disaster was telling me that we're also getting rescue teams coming in even from South Africa to help out and try and dig. So at the moment, we're still at the initial phase where we're just trying to see, okay, who has not survived, how many people we have lost, how many people are still missing, we need to find them. So it's very early for us to think about rebuilding at the moment. But in a few weeks' time, we are looking at that. And as Gift of the Givers, we're already putting plans in place on how we can support them to start rebuilding their lives.
Well, thank you very much, and all the best for the amazing work that you continue to do as Gift of the Givers in so many places where you are needed. That was Sherifa Mia, who is the Gift of the Givers manager for Malawi.